We got to mention the main event. This is what everybody was concerned about. Everybody was talking about. Everybody was ready for. We're in Atlanta. It's a town that has a lot of history with Goldberg, and we were careful not to call it his last match, but we did hear on his final walk to the ring. That's the way it was phrased by Michael Cole, that this is Goldberg's last walk to the ring. From Jim Crockett Promotions and WCW, Doug Dillinger knocked on his door. Out emerged Goldberg, and on that walk is his son Gage, is a great pal Ernest the Cat Miller, Chuck Zito, and others. And they took a commercial break right before his entrance and then after his entrance, prime time spots for advertisers. And it had a big fight feel. As you saw, Lillian Garcia had the old school, Madison Square Garden style ring announcing set.
Right.
Absolutely love that. I love the touch of having Charles Robinson in there as well, with so much shared history he had with Goldberg. In the end, though, about 15 minutes later, Gunther is victorious. I think I just kind of assumed, since we were not officially calling this Goldberg's last match and it hadn't been promoted necessarily as his last match, that Goldberg would pick up a victory here and we'd get another match or two out of this. But that doesn't feel to be the case. Gunther's victorious, and then we go to commercial, and when we come back, we see Bill Goldberg standing in the ring, surrounded by his friends, including Diamond Dallas Page, and see Josh Barnett. I know one of your close personal friends, and his wife, his son, and unfortunately, they ran out of television time, and this did not air in its entirety on NBC because, again, this was not a premium live event. Yes, it was on Peacock, but if you were on NBC, well, they had a hard out. It's broadcast television. It's not even cable television. And I think Goldberg was none too happy about this. He did an interview with Ariel Helwani this past Monday where he said something like, in regards to his speech being cut off, "I'm not saying it was done on purpose by any stretch of the imagination. I'm saying it wasn't prepared for on purpose. They wouldn't do that to Taker, right? I don't think. They're not going to do that to Cena. Cena's going around the world doing his retirement thing. Mine was just a world heavyweight championship match. I had world heavyweight matches all the time. That doesn't do anything for me. I mean, it does, but make it different than just an angle at least. At the end, do something. Say something. I don't know. It just felt a little to me, that's all." And when he was asked, would he have preferred that this match with Gunther be on a PLE instead, he said, "Yeah, absolutely. They cut me off in freaking 20 seconds with a microphone in my hand, for God's sakes. I got 2 weeks before I can really spill the beans and make my feelings kind of known about the entire rundown from the inception of the idea to its delivery. It was a little less than to be desired." And when Ariel pushed back and said, "Is that because you have some sort of NDA or something?" Goldberg said something like, "Yeah, we'll go with that." And he even said, quote, "Let's just say I'm pissed off at the way I went out. I put so much into it. I don't feel as though the effort was reciprocated to put a stamp on what I've accomplished." So Goldberg, I guess, is officially finished with WWE. Maybe that's what we're referencing in 2 weeks.
Sounds like it. Sounds like he's done. And if he was, that's not a bad thing. He's not a spring chicken. I thought they came out of that match pretty well unscathed, and they did a nice job of maintaining Goldberg's legacy. At least that's my take on it as a fan and someone that's known Bill since his high school days. I wasn't disappointed in it at all. I thought they did a fine job, and any negative feedback or publicity is what it is. It's just the way it is. So I like Bill. I'm a big Bill Goldberg fan as a man and as a talent, but I can understand his frustration. But it certainly doesn't mark his legacy in a negative way.
It doesn't feel like he's officially calling that his last match.
Right.
We know that he has flirted with the idea of doing a last match. I've even heard of a tour a couple of years ago. It seemed like that was something people were talking about. Do you think we see Goldberg step back in the ring? I don't think it's going to happen for WWE, but will it happen for AEW? Will it happen for New Japan? Will it be an independent? What do you think?
I think somewhere down the road. Now I don't know exactly the presentation is going to be, but I don't think we've seen the last of Goldberg. I think
Agreed.
it was booked correctly, not overexposed. He's with the right opponent. You dress that match up with the right opponent. Uh, Billy could be certainly back in the hunt for something. He's proven that he draws. He still draws. He's a very unique talent, and so I hope that he does more. I really do, and I just don't know who it's going to be against. There's plenty of candidates, quite honestly. So we'll see, Conrad. It's just a matter of right booking, and that's such a key element, especially when you're a guy like Goldberg. I don't want to say Billy's one dimensional, but he's got a certain style that he utilizes. I think that's important, and it's important for him to maintain that. Big physical guy. He was Brock Lesnar before there was a Brock Lesnar, quite frankly. So we'll see how it works out. But I thought that they pulled the damn thing off pretty dang well with in that match. I was happy for both. I was happy for everybody involved. They delivered, and I'm a big Gunther fan. So and he did his part. He did what he was supposed to do. At least it looked like it to me. And so we'll see how it moves forward. I just don't think that you blow it off at this point. There's got to be more, a little bit more somewhere down the road. Whether, like you said, it's in WWE or AEW or wherever, maybe even New Japan. I don't know, but he's proven that if you keep him within his time restraints, that he can still deliver. And I'm happy for him for that, because here's a guy that was not a didn't grow up as a wrestling fan. He's developed into more of a wrestling fan and a student of the game, and I think that's important that he's still learning. And I'm happy for him for that.
I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next with Goldberg, simply because I do think there's an opportunity. If he really does have a chip on his shoulder and he wants to tell that last story, I'm not advocating to promote Goldberg's last match, but someone should. And I can't help but think, you were saying, hey, the right opponent. Maybe one of the right opponents could be a guy like MJF, a guy who can run his mouth and play the heel perfectly for Goldberg.
Take big bumps,
do all that.
Feed a comeback, do all those things. Yeah, you're right about that. So we'll see. It's just I don't see that based on what I saw on Saturday, I don't think it's over for Bill. If he chooses to do that financially, I'm sure he's in great shape, and good for him for that. He's a player. He's smart with his money. He's made a lot of money over the years, which is an amazing accomplishment for a guy that really is not a fan of the business. But I think in his later years here, he has become more of a fan of the business than many thought that he might back in the day. So, good for him. He delivered. He did what he's supposed to do. The bottom line was, protect Goldberg and get Gunther over. And they accomplished both those things.
We got to keep our eye on what's going to happen next for Goldberg, because we know that could be the real forbidden door for someone. And speaking of forbidden door, it's coming up next month, towards the end of the month. I guess we're probably 5 weeks away. And WWE is going to be running an NXT event on that same day, Heat Wave. Of course, that'll be here in America. But I love that this counter programming continues. It's good for the business. I know once upon a time people took this personally, but I think this last weekend proved that, hey, there's no such thing. You can't really counter program it to hurt it. It's going to be, there's something for everybody out there right now.
Yeah, it's got a good variety, and you can pick and choose what you like. Goldberg is, he's polarizing. You either like him a lot or you don't. I do, by the way, and good for him. He's been a good loyal friend of mine for years. When your relationship with the talent goes all the way back to their high school days, it's pretty everlasting. And so, as far as my relationship with Bill Goldberg is concerned, it is everlasting, because I'm proud of his success. and he was never a true aficionado of pro wrestling. But I think, over time, that he has developed those traits, and for that, I'm very proud of Bill, because it's not a natural fit for him. So he's done a good job of building that legacy the right way. So good for him. He's become a student of the game. He always had great financial skills, and all that stuff was important and good. But he's a businessman, and I think as a businessman, he will realize, and probably already has, long before you and I are talking about it, Conrad, is that he is he's enjoyed his successes. He's gotten better at what he does. He's more of a student of the game than he ever has been, and he stays in great shape. So if you keep him within his cocoon, shall we say, and he's still doing, 10, 15, 20-minute matches, presentations, entrance, exit, the match itself, everything, he'll continue to deliver. And I have every confidence in the world that Goldberg's not through, and that he will continue to deliver if he's booked with the right individuals. As you said, there's a lot of candidates out there that Bill could utilize as his next opponent. And if MJF was one of those guys, well, then, I'm not knocking that idea. That's intriguing to me. But there are a lot of guys out there that could take Goldberg to another level. I think that's important.
Don't we all love summer vacation, relaxing, laying out by the pool, barbecues, hitting the beach, doing, nothing? Well, how about a summer vacation from your house payments? With SaveWithConrad.com, you can do just that. Reduce your monthly payments by making the equity you built up in your home work for you. You can roll together those high interest rate credit cards into one lower monthly payment, and perhaps access some of that newfound equity to turn your house into your dream home with no money out of pocket. And how about this? You get to skip your next 2 house payments. That's right. You won't have to make your June or your July house payment. You're done until August 1st. Go right now to SaveWithConrad.com. Let my team run the numbers for you for free. There's no obligation, and if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. And did I mention we're offering a 3-year guarantee right now? That's right. That means if at any point interest rates improve over the next 3 years, you get a free refi. That's right. No new lender fees from us. So you get to save money now without wasting money later when the rates improve on a whole second set of closing costs. Why not go to SaveWithConrad.com and get a guarantee? Save money now and save money later with your friend in the mortgage business. That's me, Conrad Thompson at SaveWithConrad.com. Shoot me an email at Conrad@SaveWithConrad.com. Give us a call at 888-425-0105 or get yourself a quick quote. Even talk to a live person right now at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. Let's take a summer vacation from house payments at SaveWithConrad.com.